Hello and welcome to another Purveyor of Light Photoshop quick tip. Today we've got one regarding lighting, like lens flares and such. Photoshop's a great product, but sometimes it falls a little short in the non-destructive workflow. So let me show you what I'm talking about. I have this photo here, and if I select a new layer, and then I go up to filter, and then I go to render and get a lens flare. Can't do it because the layer is empty. So it's going to force me to work on the actual image layer, which would be destructive. Okay. And I don't want to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and fill this layer with black. And then what I'll do is I'll change the blend mode to screen, okay, which means there'll be no effect if I turn it on or off. It has no effect. It only is going to let something lighter through. Okay, so now let's try the lens flare. So I go to filter, render, and lens flare. And now I've got a lay a picture of the image, the lens flare that it's going to make, and I can approximately try to calculate where the lens flare is supposed to be, right? And I go maybe there, and I hit OK, and there it is. It's in the sky. And that's not where I wanted the lens flare. This is not going to work. I'm guessing blindly, in other words. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and undo that. And I'm going to show you a better way to work with the lens flare so that you get a precise positioning of your lens flare. So we're going to need some guides. So I'm going to come off to the side here, and I'm going to drag off a couple guides. I'm going to want one right here off the chrome. Okay, that's where I want the first lens flare to be, and let's do a second lens flare right off the fin of the car. Say about there. Okay, so now I've got my guides out where I have my two locations where I want the sun flare to be. So now all I need to do is get those locations. And in order to do that, I'm going to use the info screen. So go to Window and then Info. And there you're going to see wherever I move the cursor, the numbers are going to change. And what I'm looking for, of course, is the X and Y coordinates of the image of where I want the lens flare to be. Okay, so I'm just going to hover my mouse right over the area of intersection, and we're going to see here, I'm going to write this down. My X position is 1314 and 1888. Okay, that's for the first lens flare. And the second lens flare is going to be 2036 and 2061. All right, so now I have my exact locations of where I want the lens flares to be. I can go ahead and close up that info box. And I can even remove my guides if I like. Just toss them off. All right, so now I have the information I need to do to place precisely where I want lens flares. And so I'm going to go up to Filter and Render and Lens Flare. Now, I'm going to give you, you'll notice there's no way for us to give an exact location to where to put this, okay? It's actually hidden, okay? It's a hidden menu that Adobe doesn't directly tell you about. but I want you to hold the Alt key while you're pointing anywhere on this background. And you'll see it opens up a precise lens flare center. And now all I have to do is put in those values. So the first one was 1314 by 1888. And then I can select how I want the lens flare. Okay, I hit OK. And look at that. It's exactly where I want it located. So, now let's go ahead and make a new layer. And we're going to fill it with black. Because we're going to put our second lens flare in. And I'm going to change the blend mode to screen. All right, and now I'm going to go up to filter. And lens flare. And again, to bring up that secret menu, hit the Alt or Option key. And now I have the precision flare editor, and I need to put in my values for my second flare location. It should be 2036, 2061. Hit OK, and now that lens is in the proper location. And boom, there we are. We have a non-destructive lens flare that we can now adjust. We can fade the effect. Let's say you think this rear one is too strong. You could just simply draw the opacity down. Okay. And you can even move this if needed to do a slight tweak, but because we use the precise editor, we don't even have to do that. So there you go. There's how you do precise lens flares in Photoshop. So hopefully you found this useful. Till next week, you guys take care.